Right. Good morning. Who did that?
Yes.
Scott did? You just like people looking at you, don't you? But thank you for that. That worked out. That's the gentleman thing to say. All right. Good morning, everybody. How does that sound? Kind of messy. This is going to be. How does that? Is that better? Okay. We'll go with that for now. We're testing some new stuff going forward, and why not test it with the most amount of people in the room and the most amount of people on Zoom? That's how we do things. All right. Well, it's really good to see this room this full.
I know.
It hasn't, and some people are like, this is way too people-y. That would typically be me, but all right, well, we're excited. This still seems kind of loud to me.
We're fine.
Okay. But everybody else, because it's pumping into my ear. Yeah. Thank you. That was my way of covering it up. All right, so we have some cool things to talk about today. Some of it's going to be providing clarity, some of it's going to be providing opportunity for you guys to plug into some stuff, and some of it's going to be talking about production. We're in a different market right now, and I've talked with our leadership teams a lot, and it's going to be a nuanced part of the conversation. But the way I look at how we operate our brokerage, our job is to help people build businesses. Now, when I put that under the umbrella, there's a lot of stuff that goes under that. We all know how challenging entrepreneurship can be. And we also know how exciting and how much opportunity there is in it. Why do people get into the business? 2 reasons.
Make the money.
Money and flexibility, right? Challenge sometimes is we put flexibility before the money, and what shows up when we put flexibility before the money? Not the money. So we've got to treat this. We're going into a market where I'm going to encourage some of you. We have to treat this more like a job than just go do whatever we want whenever we want. We've got to stick to a handful of things every single day to make sure that we'll be in business next week, next month, next year. This isn't about just having, Gary says it, I'm not focused on just having one good year. Goal is to develop a career in this business. That requires consistency. It requires teaching it with intention and focus. Okay. So I want to start off with just some context. How many of you have a couple of announcements to make?
Do those first.
What are the announcements?
Bethany, do you have control? I do. We know that just really quick. You guys have deadlines coming up for your CE, and so
I do too.
Yeah, they coordinated it for CE. So here's the information. You can scan there to register. It is Zoom only. I'm not going to take time to go through what they are and when they are. But you'll have this information. Okay. Total credit. 5 total credit.
Can we squeeze 5.75 because that's what I have left? Can we just make that work? All right. That's it. I love that. I love that little of announcements. That's awesome. So I want to give you guys some context. Who's been with our organization for more than 10 years? Okay, so we have about a third of you, maybe a quarter of you. I want to give some context, both with the organization that we're running and as well as how typically you guys are probably viewing things from just a brokerage to brokerage perspective. So 20 years ago, John Butler and Tom Vance took over a handful or started a handful of offices. They started here. They opened up Elk River / Otsego, and then they opened up Edina and took over Lake Minnetonka, all in about a 5 to 6 year period. And then last year, while I was moving into the operating partner role from John Butler, we also took on Eden Prairie. So we have 5 market centers that we operate, and there's about 825 agents between those 5 market centers at this point. So why do I share that? A lot of times we look at whatever office we're a part of, we individually, you as agents, we look at it as that's just our office. That's who we are. what I'm ultimately looking to create is sharing something with other offices for more opportunities, for more collaboration, for better education, for more technology, like all of the stuff. And I think there's value in that. Now, when you look across the country, about, I don't know, 80% of the market centers are run by one operating partner, essentially. So they run one market center. A part of a very small group. Fortunately, I was introduced. They had me come in there. There's only a handful, and when I say handful, maybe 10 to 15 OPs that have more than market centers. So we have 5. So we're in this unique field of, we're figuring stuff out as we go, because there's not a lot of things that have been laid out in a way that shows us what are the best practices, what works well, how does your financial structure look, what does the organizational model look like. So bear with me while I say, I don't have this all figured out, and you're going to have just as many questions as you do answers today. So sorry about that, and I don't care. We'll figure it out. One thing I want you to trust me on is I don't always have the answers, but you can trust me on figuring it out. I will always figure it out. It just, we're all in this unique phase just in the industry as a whole where things are just a little bit different, right? So I've been working with the leadership team. We going on probably a year now, where we started getting all the leadership teams together and starting talking about centralizing things and what can we share.
It was super smooth process.
Oh my gosh, you would have thought I was the devil. They're like, why are we screwing? Oh, this is so complicated. And I made it very complicated, not on purpose, but just trying to figure things out. Over the past year, nobody knew each other really. Like they knew of each other, but they didn't know each other. So it took some time to get to know each other. It took time to get strengths and.
Can we figure this out? Is it distracting anybody else or just me? Because
Everybody's looking at me and then they're like,
okay, are we good up here now?
I thought it was me at first, and no, thank God it's not. Well, it still might be, but that's okay. But essentially what we did come to is we pulled back on some of the centralizations of the operations because it didn't seem to have scale with efficiencies. What you have noticed is we've rolled out a training calendar that is different than it used to be. It's taking people from each market center with different niches, with different production levels, and having different people trained so you can still, now it's distracting me. You can have different points of view versus listening to the same people. It doesn't matter who that person is. They could be the best speaker with the most knowledge, but human nature. We just start to tune people out. Not for any other reasons like, yeah, I've heard this, I know this, I've heard this, but you bring in new people and it helps. So ultimately what my goal is
can we pause you? This is going to drive me crazy. Can we just pin us to the front page? Or did know how to, can we just turn these TVs off? Oh, shoot. It's okay. All right. Just ignore them, everybody. I will too.
who keeps popping up.
It's okay. Don't ask questions.
You know how many times I hear that? Don't worry. We got it. Don't ask questions. I trust our team. So I'm going to touch on, some of you are going to ask questions around legal stuff. There's still MLS rules. There's still Department of Commerce rules that we haven't been able to navigate through yet. So just keep in mind, I don't have those answers, and we're going to continue to push the envelope on that. So ultimately, I see a shared vision for what I stand for, and ultimately the people that are part of our organization, both agents and leadership. I want to have a shared vision. And this has evolved over time, but essentially we've come to, we're an inside out organization that really exists to help develop people to their highest potential, both personally and professionally. That's ultimately when I look at what feeds me, and I think what drives most businesses is developing people. It doesn't mean people never leave, but I see more people come back once they experience something different. So I don't look for just people to build the businesses. I look to develop people that want to build businesses. And if you guys build your businesses, I already know the byproduct of that. I already know it. So I'm gonna pour all my energy, and I know our leadership teams are gonna pull all our energy into helping develop you guys. Developing people is really about getting them to think in a way that aligns with what they want. The challenge is, a lot of times we get hung up on the tactics or the, what do I say? 9 times out of 10, that's not the problem. It's typically the biggest challenge we face. Not a trick question. Robin, you got it. How we think. What we're programming ourselves to do, what we're choosing not to do because of the stories we tell ourselves. So when I'm talking about developing people, I'm talking about getting you very clear on what you say you want, and then making sure you're willing to do what it takes to get there. So every conversation we have and every training that we hold, the goal is, yeah, you got to get the mind right. You can say all the right things, but if you say it without authenticity or transparency, I don't think you're going to be that successful, or you're going to be miserable. I don't want either one of those. So, that makes sense? So,
It's out there.
it's up there. So we spent a lot of time on, it's been called the Butler Group for 5 years. And John Butler was the OP, so that makes a lot of sense. He was never the hugest fan of calling it the Butler Group. So before we made this transition, he says, you just need to start working on a different name because you can't just keep calling it the Butler Group. So here's what we've come up with a collective real estate network. So we're just on the ground floor. Like I said, we don't have this 10-year vision of it. Developing people and growing the organization with great people is an indefinite goal. That is always something we're going to be focused on. Because I know people in here that have been very positively impacted by being part of our organization. Why would I want to hold that from anybody else? Because I also hear it, why do we just want to grow? I don't know. Why wouldn't we? I mean, honestly, like I fight that a little bit because growth isn't a bad thing. You guys have been positively impacted. It's nothing but more positive impact with other people that can then positively impact other people. Like this is a much broader thing than just our market centers. So we've had some tough conversations, and I'm grateful he's still with us. You know, it wasn't always that way. And I think that's natural for business relationships. I think everybody questions things at some point in time. So I'm grateful that everybody's in this room right now. Otherwise, I'd be talking to myself. So that's, we want to continue to grow the training. We want to continue to grow the collaboration. We want to continue to grow all the opportunities that come with it. And your leadership teams heavily work together on collaborating and bringing ideas and shared practices. So there's a benefit to the agents as well. And honestly, one of the benefits of opening it up like this is tell us your thoughts, give us your ideas. We'll implement stuff if it's legal. And if it's possible from a bandwidth of what our leadership teams can handle, and maybe it's not right now, but maybe it's in the future. And honestly, there's going to be more leadership opportunities that come up for people that are part of the organization too. So, what did I miss?
I don't know. Should I just start talking?
Don't just talk to talk. Why say blah, blah, blah when you could say blah? Is that
No, I mean, Jake said it. The heart of this is really getting your thinking right, but also along with that, I think comes that self-awareness piece. We are our own limits. We are our own ceiling. And so a lot of this is creating opportunities for us to become more aware of the potential within ourselves and the limits within ourselves, and then how to align with more people. I think as we've gotten more and more clear and the leadership has gotten more clear on what are we about, for years it was like, well, what is the vision? Is the vision a number? No, the vision isn't a number. That's a goal. That's a tangible goal. The vision is about who we are. We talk about be, do, have. Who are we being? Who are we? Well, we are an inside out organization, which means that we believe that in order for you to go out and make an impact, whether it's in your business or your community or your family, it starts internal. And if you don't do that and gain that self-awareness, that's okay. You're just going to have a limit there. And so I think it's been interesting over the years and then the rest of our leadership to realize how aligned we are in that belief. That is who we are. That's the common thread amongst all the leadership in all of the years that's been there. So it's been pretty exciting to sort of unravel that and see that unfold. So can I take us to the website?
Yes, absolutely.
I'm going to show you guys, I think part of what this is doing, it's allowing us to level up not just our trainings, but different resources that we can provide for you. So we've put together a website for the collective. The URL is withthecollective.com. And we're just getting started on streamlining a few things. I'm going to show you a few things, then I'm going to invite up some more people that we want to share as a result. So withthecollective.com, this is going to be a place that we're going to start centralizing some of the resources for you. So you can see our homepage if you want to scroll down on that. It's a little slow internet today. So a little bit about what we believe and who we are, and then you can scroll down and see all of our 5 market centers. Under each of the drop downs is just a brief kind of description of what's the vibe, because the vibe in each of our market centers is very different. But also there's a button on each of those to join one of the offices. If you want to click on that, you can see. So if you've got friends or colleagues that would benefit from it being a part of this, this is a form that takes them directly here and then goes directly to our front desk, which is a huge system. If you guys know how to capture leads for your business, this is one way that we get to capture leads for more great people to partner with. So that's on that front page. And then you can go down further. These are all tabs on the homepage to our training.
That way.
This way. There's the speaker.
Oh, I lied. I don't want to do this.
It's so unconventional. So our training calendar is on here, which I'm super excited about. It's been a lot of hard work to centralize our training calendar, just from a collaboration standpoint. From a collaboration standpoint, the TLs we're getting together once a month and figuring out, what do you guys need? We're constantly asking, what do the agents need right now? What challenges are you running into? So we develop the training calendar once a month. It's relevant, it's real time, it's fresh. It's all up on here. June, as you know, is different, or maybe you don't know yet because of the impact that we have coming up. In future months, you'll be able to go on here. If there's an Eventbrite link, you can register right from the website, the Eventbrite link. And then for all of your Wednesday trainings, the Zoom links are going to be on there for each of the individual offices for all Wednesday trainings. So if you want to pop into a Zoom meeting, or if you've got somebody you'd like to invite, they can go on here and get that right there. Good.
The goal is to send you less emails. That's all I got from that. I thought it was gonna be the showstopper. Apparently not. The goal is to provide one consolidated place where you guys can know what's going on where, and you can sign up for it, so you don't have to get as many emails, and provide some just consistency on where to go.
We will continue adding to this website too, but this is our ground one. Let's go to our leaders. And then you can scroll past us, Bethany. I'm the general manager. Jake is the OP. I'm the general manager. If you haven't met me, and my name is Jen Briggs. So we've got all of our team leaders on here. Team leaders, can you just kind of come forward for a second? I want to recognize you. Katie, John, come up here. I just want to come on up. I know Ali's not here today. Katie. What else are we missing? It's Carmen, come on up. Come on up. Yay. This is going to be a little easier for me to say now that I'm not a team leader. This job is one of the most rewarding and one of the most challenging jobs that I've ever had. And it's for sure the most rewarding. It causes more inside out work than anything I've ever experienced in my life. And they've signed up for it and they've done an amazing job. And I am so actually inspired. Like, I'm inspired by what they're doing and how gritty they need to be, particularly in this market. So thank you all for all you're doing. Give them a round of applause. Yeah. Here. So,
Hi. I'm Carmen Malden. I am the new team lead at Elk River Otsego. Hi, guys in the back. It's good to see you. Yeah. Thank you for representing, and I'm just excited to be here. I've been in the industry for about 3 years now. Came over from Chris Lindahl Real Estate, and I'm just excited to be with you guys.
Kami Augustine, team leader at Lake Minnetonka. I've been 13 years this month.
Amazing.
John Ladeborn, I'm the team leader over at the Edina Market Center. Was kind of bred from the lakes here with Jen and Jake's leadership. So thank you to you guys also for all you provide to us as leaders.
I'm Katie Stein and I'm at the Eden Prairie Market Center. I've been in the industry since 2017. Came from many years of leadership in the fitness industry. So doing this here now in real estate is just so exciting and so fun. So thank you.
And she could, we snagged her too. That's not a feather in his hat or anything. Yeah, yeah. So you guys will see them leading some of the trainings and some of the panels. I just know you haven't met them all. I wanted to give an opportunity to see their faces up there. And they've got, let's give just a gratitude to the rest of the leadership team too. If you're in a leadership team, will you stand up, please? In one of the offices. They're working hard, and we realize we don't have jobs without you. Our job is to lead and serve you. We're not we're not trying to necessarily be servants of every request. And that's our job. We want to make your jobs easier. We want to empower you. We want to develop you, and they work hard to do that every day. So thank you to all of you. I'm really excited to share the next group of people. I'm going to have them come up here. Yep.
I'm just curious. This is kind of a new concept, so I want to make sure you guys have any questions around what we're talking about right now. Is there confusion or does this make sense? Okay, never mind.
That's good. So we still have our 5 locations. We're separate locations and we're centralizing our training. Separate, we've got separate brokers, but we're centralizing some of our resources, i.e. training, development. There's going to be more ahead. Yep. One of the things that we're centralizing that you guys all got communication about several months ago was the communities. So Keller Williams International has what they're calling communities at a high level. And those are opportunities for people to plug into some specific niche, to find people that are maybe like-minded, that are interested in the same niche of real estate. And we've decided to launch collective communities. So communities that will be across our 5 market centers, rather than just doing them within our individual 5 market centers. So we set out an application process and we had people apply and interview and volunteer for these opportunities to chair the communities. So we're going to invite up the community leaders, have them introduce a little bit about themselves and the communities they're leading. Know that we're just launching these 5 to start. There's like 20 at KWRI. So we wanted to get these off the ground, launch them and work out some of the kinks and provide the opportunity to you all. There will be more launching probably yet this year and for sure next year too. So community chairs, come on up. Joey, do they need to use this mic? Is that the scoop? Okay. Let's start on this end. Guys, introduce yourself and then your community and what your community is about. And we've got some slides too. No, you can show the slides. You're just gonna have to find the right ones. Or do luxury first.
Hello.
The over button on there, or tells the result.
Hello, hello.
Anyway, Andrea Barachek, I'm with the KW Market Center in Edina. I am the team leader of the Neighborly Property Group.
I'm Sarah McKee. I'm a solo agent here at the Uptown office.
And we are co-chairing the luxury. If you want to talk about our mission statement a little bit, put it together.
Yeah, so our our mission is to bring tools to people who exist in luxury real estate or aspire to be working in luxury real estate, or really just want insight into the tools that luxury agents use to create the systems and service standards that make them confident in servicing that demographic.
So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be launching quarterly events that we're going to be hosting off-site. So they're going to be or they're going to be off-site from KW offices. Our first one, I don't know if we're allowed to say it now. Okay.
Yeah.
Our first one is going to be June 28th at Glass House. We're going to have some amazing panelists. As you can see up here, we're going to be adding a couple more, but these folks have joined on and we're super excited. Really what we're trying to do is create a community where people can come together. Networking is super important when it comes to luxury. Also, like she talked about, we're really interested in making sure that we can create resources for luxury agents and service standards that we want everybody to be able to be a part of, whether you're selling a $200,000 house or a $2 million house. So we're super excited about that.
Yeah, so we would love, there's a QR code here if this speaks to you and you'd like to attend. There is a limited capacity to it, but we would love to see all of you come and learn from these incredibly experienced agents.
Thank you.
I'm Kelly from the Prairie Market Center.
And I'm Rob. I'm an agent with the KW Market Center. And we are.
I know.
So we're launching the KWIP group. So when Kelly and I first started brainstorming to envision what we see for this group, we
What
kind of
does YP stand for?
young professionals. Sorry. Oh, yes, young professionals.
Well, I want everybody here, but I also want to, well, there's 80 people on Zoom, so.
All right, can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, so when we first started envisioning, what we were looking for in this group, we kind of went through the aspects of what we love about our culture and each of our market centers. And two of the main things that we kept coming back to was collaboration and the connectedness that we have. For me personally, in my last year in real estate, I know one of the things was, it's tough out there at times. So you can be really, lonely or it can seem pretty tough. But I know the encouragement that I've received from the leadership team here and being able to talk to different agents in the office and being able to collaborate and maybe have a coffee talk about different techniques. It's changed my business and it's changed the entire trajectory of my business. So that's kind of what we set out to do with KWYP. We want to have a group for young professionals to come to and, collect with other young professionals, collaborate and bounce ideas off one another each month. So we're having our first meeting on June 22nd at 3 p.m. in Minnetonka. We're going to be facilitating that meeting, but we really want it to be, input based. So whoever's coming to that meeting, have them come in and just have them provide feedback of what they're looking for and how we can provide value to the people that are attending our meetings. So.
Hi, my name is Obi, and we're doing the military. I am prior service Army. I did 6 years as a combat medic. I'm currently a nurse right now. And what led me into real estate was from the 2008, my dad foreclosed on his home, and I'm sure a lot of you guys know what happened in 2008. And that experience really shaped me because we rented for 10 years. And I remember just saying that I'm going to be on the other side of this. So when I finished my service in the Army, I used my veterans benefit, my VA benefit, to secure my first investment property in 2020. Thank you. Yeah. Long story short, got married, had a kid, had sold it, got out of debt and used my VA again this time. So a big thing for me is really making sure that veterans who raise their hand voluntarily to serve should not ever have to face homelessness. So a big thing for me is really being pulled into this career is pulled by purpose. It's understanding that we need to be able to create housing. We are the middleman for legacy build. We are the middleman for equity build. And those who have raised their hand to serve this country should be served back. I believe that. Thank you. Right now, as I explore more options into the military, so I do have some vending machines at my Arden Hills Military Training Center. That's where I used to do my drills. They host my vending machines. So I don't have a date yet for when I will be able to host a first meeting, but my first meeting is at Arden Hills Army Training Center to talk to veterans itself. Who here has a family member who served? Who here knows that you could benefit from your mom, your dad's VA benefit? Who knows that? Is limited. So like only 3 people raised their hand, and we want to be able to make this a generational thing. We want where if your dad served, you can be able to benefit from that as well. So it's really making sure that we are standing on everything that we're talking about, generational wealth, making sure we're closing the gap and making sure that we are honoring veterans. So thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jeremy Hippolito. I am an agent with Kind Group Realty and on the leadership team out of the Eden Prairie Market Center. And I'm going to be leading the diversity, equity, and inclusion community, and I'm super excited for this community. Quickly, if I could have everyone just look to the right and then to the left. And if you're on Zoom, just look at the screens in Zoom. So what diversity is it's us. It's truly just us and us celebrating all of our differences. And that's what the community is going to be all about. It's just celebrating our differences and realizing that everyone has a place where they belong. And so we're going to be meeting on June 26th, Monday, June 26th at 2 p.m. at the Keller Williams Minnetonka Market Center. And then we have some fun events coming up that I will be talking about too at that meeting. So I'm really excited to be here. And I know that we can make some really great change in the real estate industry through this community.
You're up. Oh.
Hi, I'm Kari Lundeen. I'm out of the Edina Market Center. And I'm with the I'm the co-chair of the wealth community with Derek Steinbach out of the Minnetonka office. Quick show of hands. Who here is financially independent? Handful. That's awesome. Who's got a retirement plan? Anybody? Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Well, whether you're starting your journey or you're midpoint on your journey or you're toward the end, we're the wealth group. We're going to talk about how to create lasting wealth, how to solve financial problems, how to invest in real estate, all of those things. We are starting June 22nd at 1 o'clock at where else? The Minnetonka Market Center. Apparently Keller Williams YP will be kicking us out at 3 o'clock. But we're going to do an educational component in the first half and then a mastermind in the last half. And we already have our first speaker. Harry Hirth is a wonderful teacher about the net worth tracker. And he's also going to talk about the debt snowball, because if you're starting your financial journey, how can you have a destination if you don't know where you're starting from? Money in your checkbook is not financial independence. So please join Perry. I took his class. He's got a really great spreadsheet and it changed my life. So Thursday, the 22nd, 1 o'clock, and probably every third Thursday after that.
Thank you all. You guys can take a seat. Thank you. Is that not great? So this is a part of the opportunity as the collective to be able to level this up. Yeah, Claire.
He's going to be on the website you were talking about?
Yes. So we're solidifying dates, all of the, especially if they have an ongoing meeting time, they're figuring that out. Some of them are still figuring out when that'll be, but we will be putting that on the training calendar part of the website and then also on the communities page as part of the website. All of their phone numbers and emails are currently on the website. So if you would like to be a part of that community or are interested in volunteering with them, it's taken them a lot of work. So again, thank you for the work and time. They've been they've had a lot of joy in doing it. And I'm sure that they would take any more help that you guys would like to add to that. Anything else for that? Okay. Okay, the last thing that I have to talk about is this initiative that we're launching. How many of you have heard about Impact? Most of you, okay. And some half-hearted woos. We were looking at our numbers as a market center, how many months ago? A few months ago. And we know that the market is down. You guys are hearing it probably in your, your individual team meetings. You're probably seeing it in some of you in your own numbers that the market is down. I'm a believer that we have control over what we have control of. We can't control the market, but we can control what we can do and how we can show up to it. And so we started talking about, well, what do we do as a market center then? Well, we've got a business just like you have a business. And what's the win-win in this? We decided to launch an initiative, which is it's 60 days to help you hit your business out of the park and close that gap that we've seen shown up. So the leadership teams worked pretty hard and we wrestled through some challenging meetings to figure out what this would look like. And it's the first.
It's not challenging. It was collaborative.
Passionate.
Here's like, this is a side note. Here's what I love about this. Our group, I think we've come to a point where we can have those hard conversations and leave feeling great because we just know like we're going to dive in and figure this thing out and move forward. So I'm really proud of the teams and what we've come up with for you guys. So I'm going to explain a little bit about it to you. Do you want to go to the next slide? So it starts on June 7th. That's basically the launch date, which is a Wednesday. And we're calling that first 3 days spring training. So we're going to meet at the Minnetonka Market Center and we're going to start with a launch, which is like an overview of it. And we're really focusing on some mindset pieces. We were down at Keller Williams International and Gary talked about every training they do at every level of production first starts with removing fear. Because he can meet with a $200 million producer and that producer will have some of the same fears that somebody that's brand new in the industry, or they might have a different fear. Maybe it's about hiring the next hire. Maybe it's about the responsibility that they have. We all have fears. We all have limiting beliefs. We all have some mindset hangups. So that first day is going to be focused on getting you into that right headspace and an overview of what we're moving into. The second day, the next 2 days, we're really focusing on 4 main kinds of lead generation. This is going to be a lead. We want to get your business up and moving again. So it's focused on skill set building and activities around you getting more business. So the first day is database and social media. We have playbooks for all of them, and we're going to do some training around the systems and models. And you're going to walk away with very tangible framework that you can implement that day. At 11 o'clock on both of those days, we're having what we call batting practice to stick with the theme. And that's basically just to it's like a workshop time. There's going to be hands-on people there to help with tech. So you're going to walk away with a list of things that you need to do that day to set you up for Monday, which is when we really start kicking it in gear. Friday, we're focusing on boots on the ground. So canvassing neighborhoods. How do you make connections with people that you might meet at the grocery store? How do you build those relationships? And then open houses. How do you really make the most out of an open house? Some of you might not have the inventory to have an open house. So we're going to talk about that too. If you have fears around any one of these 4 kinds of lead gen, that's okay. We're going to work through that. And we'd rather have you here diving into 2 of those kinds hardcore than not showing up at all. This is for you wherever you're at. Yeah.
Well, I think that I always think about what keeps us from actually going to something, participating in something, or being a part of something. And I can hear it already. I'm a brand new agent. I don't want to do this in front of other people because I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm saying. I don't even know what a contract looks like. So we don't show up. I can see top producers saying, I already know all this. Maybe.
And maybe you know it, but maybe you haven't implemented everything to 100% of the possibility. Part of this too is the game. We're taking a gamified approach to it. But do you feel the energy in the room today? Like, do you feel what the momentum is when you have people together? That is a real element behind this. So maybe you've done this stuff, but why not do 60 days where there's momentum and push and smart minds in the same room and people saying, I'll be there, you be there too. Let's do this together. It is like, let's link arms and just do this together.
Well, and you look at it, anything significant you do in your life, there's a common theme. What is it? What does it require? work, it requires consistency. There's nothing, you look at relationships, you look at health, you look at business. You can't get healthy going to the gym 1 day a week for 7 hours.
I'm gonna leave hurt.
You didn't go back the second time because it was so painful. But if you can take small, I think we overestimate this long-term outcome and underestimate the importance of this small, just bite-sized pieces that we do every single day. So when we look at 60 days, that's enough to gain enough conversations over a period of time to put you into a habit, but also develop business relationships that you wouldn't have had otherwise. So yeah, I'm kind of pushing a little bit because I'm having a lot of conversations with people saying it's weird out there. Cool. Then what?
Yeah.
Because if it's weird out there and you sit back and you isolate, there's nothing worse that we can do in this type of market than isolate.
There's some of you too that are probably considering, do I need to get another job? Do I need to get out of this industry at all levels of production? If you put just a few hours of intentional work and play every day, that will be a different conversation. We're going to focus not just on the activities, we're also going to focus on your skills around having better conversion when you do the activities. If you show up and just do this, like kind of without thinking, you will see a change in your business without a doubt. So the next week.
So that was just, can we go back? So just for clarity, Wednesday is the 7th. It's a week from today, 8th, 9th, you guys got that.
There's a tailgate on the 7th. So we have a sign up for that. So after we do the launch, then we're going to go out in the parking lot.
The launch is 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock, 9 to 11 is the training component. And at 11 o'clock, we're going to go have a tailgate in the parking lot. Let's kick it off. Okay. That's all in Minnetonka and that's all in person. Okay.
There'd be no team meetings then on Wednesday. That's Wednesday, right?
Not on that Wednesday. No team meeting next week. Yep. Okay. Then every week from June 12th to August 2nd, there's going to be this rhythm. You show up and we start at 8:45. From 8:45 to 9, we're going to do some mindset exercises. From 9 to 9:15, we're going to practice your dialogues, which is another word for script. Don't tell anybody that. KWR is on a big kick of not using the word script. So we are using the word dialogue and conversation. The top agents in this room practice their dialogues. The top quarterbacks in the NFL don't stop practicing the basics, right? They run the drills, they do the basics. I cannot underestimate the power of taking 15 minutes a day just to read them. We're going to help you do it in a way that's not, you don't have to stand in from a room and pretend you're on a theater stage. We're going to do it in a very non-intimidating way that's going to help you have more success at your appointments, when you're lead generating, all that stuff. So just 15 minutes a day, we're going to do that. And then from 9:15 to 11, we're going to focus on Monday on database. Mining your database, setting your database up, getting your 30 touch, doing your DTD2. On Tuesday, we're going to focus around systems around social media. You're going to have a very specific system on what to post, when and where, and what the content is. On Wednesday, we have batting practice that day. So that's again a workshop time where if any one of those 4 things you need help with, or you want to dive in or work with a partner on something, that's time there. Thursday's boots on the ground. So you might be canvassing a neighborhood in preparation for an open house, and we're going to walk you through what you should do each day. If you don't have an open house, we're going to talk about how to circle prospect without one. Friday would be focusing on open house setup and inviting people to that. Again, if you don't have that, you could either do one of the other 3 or do more circle prospecting, and we'll walk you through all of that. The other component of this is that you're going to have a team. Your team is going to be your market center. Okay. So we're going to compete as market centers against each other. It's going to be fun. Your team leaders are your coaches. And then we're all going to also be looking for captains that will help rally and keep the teams going throughout the weeks. We're going to keep score every week on a few things. You're going to get a single or 1 point for an appointment that you set. You're going to get a double or 2 points for buyer reps that you get signed. You're going to get a triple for listing agreements because we think they're worth more, they're leverage. And you're going to get a home run for an accepted purchase agreement. Okay. And then we're going to add those up as a team and we're going to compete each week. Halfway through the season, which happens to correlate with the All-Star break in the ML, the Major League Baseball. Is that what it's called? MLB? No. I like football. I'm not a huge base. I was like, let's do baseball. I know nothing about it. I was like, who's that guy? Babe Ruth? He like knew what he was swinging for, right? We're going to show up and know what we're swinging for. That was the analogy.
Right.
Yeah.
Can you go back to the launch? So one more. So 7th, 8th and 9th. This is all at Lake Minnetonka. I want to make sure. So the next
you.
slide where you're actually doing the work. So next slide. These are all at your market center.
Yep.
These aren't all at Lake Minnetonka. After the first 3 days of training, these are just inside the market center where everybody's just meeting here. Or in your market center. Okay.
Got it? Cool.
But on Monday, have our coaching meeting that happens around 10 a.m.
Which coaching meeting? Is it accountability group? You guys are going to want to talk with your groups about the possibility of switching that time just during impact.
There's
Yep.
a level of accountability that shows up, just showing up to do that work. Day in, day out. So
Yep.
whoever's running that, obviously will leave choice up to you guys, but I think
We
there's.
can talk about that. Yep. Okay, so it's gamified. We're gonna have tickets that you're gonna win. The top three top three individuals are gonna get tickets to a sporting event. We're trying to decide if it's Saints or Twins mid-season, and then we're gonna have a very special prize that we're not gonna name yet for the winning team. So whomever team, I can't name it because we haven't solidified it, and I don't want to underdeliver on a promise. Want to name it?
No.
Okay.
The way you framed it, like we're not gonna name it.
I didn't think that through very well. We're gonna have a prize for the winning team, and it's gonna be really fun. In addition to that, I would say, like, if I was on your team each week, if happy hour is a thing or coffee is a thing, like go out with your team. There's something about making that connection and then being kind of in the trenches together. So, that's this. What else did I miss? Register for it. We need you to register. That's also part of why we're still trying to decide on what the prize is. We need to know how many people we're accommodating for the prize.
We already had.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, here's the last thing I was going to say. The job that I came from, I hate to use the word hate because I don't hate a lot of things, but I really despised probably about 30 hours of my work week, right? And the job that I came from. And it was really challenging. And not that anybody's going to despise this time, but when you think about if you take, I know, right? I'm sorry, I'm horrible. 8:45 to 11. Like Jake started with this. We put flexibility above consistency sometimes in this industry. You don't even need to show up for 9. You don't even need to show up for 8 hours a day to be successful in this industry. With 3 hours of intentional focused time a day for 60 days, you will absolutely see a change in your business. You show up and do the things and just say, what have I got to lose? I'm going to give it 60 days. Your business will see an increase. We're going to work on the skills. There's going to be coaches there for you. We're going to leave you with very tangible things. So this is for you. This is a response to us seeing a need, and we really are hopeful that it's going to be really helpful for you. Yeah.
Questions?
What was the website again?
Withthecollective.com. Yep. Yes.
Each market center is one team.
Each market center is one team, but it's only the people that register for impact that will be on the market center's team. We're not looking at all of the numbers of the entire market center. You need to be registered for impact and in attendance at the event. Okay. Yes.
It overlaps with travel. Is it okay if not for the whole thing?
Yes. Yep. Great question. Yes. Okay.
I mean, you come for 2 days and then you're gone. I'm traveling for, well, Robin, you could. You're an adventurous person that I admire. You've done more than most will travel in their lifetime, which is.
TL, did I miss anything else? No?
I can hear the chatter. I don't want to sign up for this. There's too much accountability and
Is that what you're thinking right
there's
now?
not going to be any, some of them won't. But it's human nature. I've been in this business long enough. I'm a realtor myself. It's not really so fun that I should go through. So I don't think I'm any different. Just going to encourage you to work through all the reasons why you shouldn't or you can't because it's going to get in the way of this, or I'm going to have to get up early or whatever it is.
Yeah, you might have to have some conversations with family members too. You might have to rearrange some things. This is for 60 days. This is for 60 days. I'm going to play all in. I'm going to go all in on this and see what happens.
I don't want to sell it to you. If you're like, you absolutely don't want to do it, don't do it. And I want to encourage you to sign up.
Yes, Kimi.
That just brought up a great point. Why don't we do this in January, February, and March? The point of this is so that we are ramping up business for those months that we aren't normally busy, right? Because we take off June, July, and August, and then September, October, and November come and we panic. That's the whole reason that we're starting this in June. So yes, maybe not your norm, right? But dig in.
There is no normal right now. Scott, when's the best time to plant a tree?
Yesterday.
20 years ago. When's the today? But it obviously, and we didn't have, we were just taking over what John was doing at that time. So I'm giving you an excuse.
Maybe we'll do it again in January.
I didn't know my first name in January, so. Any other questions? Gotti.
I got a comment. To me, what we've got here is we've got 825 agents, which in a sense would probably be one of the largest companies in the state if it were a company. And so what I think this is fabulous what you're doing. We're taking the power of these 5 market centers, and what I would love to see is, and maybe this has to do with the Department of Commerce, but to start to be able to make money and trade listings and have our own.
We're going to figure out how to do a matchmaking meeting and work with clear cooperation rules. We're going to figure it out. We're going to figure it out in a way that is in compliance, and it's going to come sooner rather than later, but it's not going to be easy.
And it's going to take trust from you guys. We've got to follow the rules. Otherwise your errors and emissions goes up. So I'll just put that caveat on it.
One of the weaknesses of KW is we're all these little islands of franchises, whereas CBB is one company and they can count the whole thing as one company. It's been hard for us to consolidate things and really get our arms around it. So for us to take these 5 offices and in a sense make them a company is a fabulous idea. Fabulous. Thank you.
Thank you. Cool.
For people that have part-time jobs or other things going on, does it make sense for us if we can commit to 1 or 2 sessions a week to just kind of do
Yes.
that consistently?
Yes.
Yeah.
If you can try to make,
You can get involved. I'm going to encourage it.
if you can try to make the spring training work to be there for all 3 days, that would be great, because that's where the bulk of the training, like the what you're gonna do is gonna happen in those first 3 days. The rest of it will be kind of a system that's a little bit more automated or on repeat, I guess, is a better way of putting it. So, but yes, I would encourage you to do all of you can. If you absolutely cannot, something is better than nothing, for sure. Yep. Okay.
Who's in?
Yay.
All right. Anything else?
Good. Well, we got a potluck today, guys.
Food, is it
Out there.
out here? It's back in the.
Hey,
out here.
let's do this.
To the back.
We normally start with this and we skipped over it. Tell us something good that's happening right now, or a bucket fill, somebody that in here maybe that has helped you with something or something that you've seen that's positive. Send on that note.
Ryan, from Taylor Lending, we were able to have a contract signed for a member who's deployed who will be coming home to a home.
That's awesome. Everybody's like, I don't want to go after that.
Shout out Melissa, our productivity coach, and all of our new agents. So she has 22 agents in our productivity coaching program, and just this week, so many of them are under contract on their listings or with their buyers, and so the whole program is just like snowballing very quickly, and she's just doing an amazing job, as are all the new agents. There's just so much energy right now, so it's exciting.
Closing on my first investment property tomorrow.
Love that. Well, it's cliche, but please know that we're super grateful for you guys being in business with us and choosing us. And trust me, I go to bed every night and wake up every morning thinking about how do we make this better and how do we help people live the best lives that they can live. So thank you for being here, and I look forward to seeing what we do together. You gotta get batteries in these. I think. Well,